All right, we have to applaud for that. Ruben, that was an amazing start to the service. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right, good morning, everyone. I am Natalie Fleury, and it is a pleasure to serve as the service representative from the Board of Trustees this morning. My pronouns are she and her. What a gift it is to gather together today, both in person on this sunny day in Brookfield and online through live stream. It's good to be together as a joyful community committed to spiritual growth, inclusion, and justice, gathering in and among so many different spaces. We especially note that a substantial part of our gathered community are those joining us from their homes or other places. Hi, Mom. Wherever we are physically, our hearts and spirits are one, and we look forward to being present together today. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who attended last night's Pledge Drive kickoff event. There was good food, good conversation, great music, and laughter. A fabulous way to spend the evening and pledge our financial support for this beloved community. Those of you who have completed your pledge will be eligible for a prize drawing later in the service. 5 lucky winners to be announced soon. This morning, I'm sharing language from the Unitarian Universalist Association Side with Love campaign webpage at uua.org. The world needs Unitarian Universalists to show up for justice with spiritual grounding, generosity, humility, courage, and concrete skills. It is a spiritual practice to choose love over fear, to be brave, to show up when we're called, to occupy space with loving resistance rather than fearful retreat. We are most powerful when we understand that all the issues we care most deeply about are fundamentally interlinked, and that each of us has a role to play in building a world in which all people can be free and thrive. When we bring our best selves to our justice work, whichever specific issue or campaign it might be, we are choosing to side with love. On that note, there will be a Side with Love webinar on March 4th at 6 p.m. hosted by Rev. Jill. It's entitled Grounded, Resilient, and Responsible, Responding and Organizing in Authoritarian Times. The Side with Love Action Center offers an analysis of critical issues, shares immediate actions we can take, and provides resources to deepen knowledge of our collective work. See the order of service and the website for registration details for the March 4th event. Here are a few other things to note as we gather and settle into this time together. For newcomers and visitors, please stop by the newcomers table in the foyer after the service and fill out one of the blue welcome cards. The activity table is ready and stocked up with things for people to do if they need to occupy their hands during the service. And there's time for coffee, tea, and conversation for everyone following the service. Find a comfortable place to hang out here in the community room, in the library, and then challenge yourself to talk to someone you have not yet met. Let's build community together. For those of you in the sanctuary, I'd like you to take a look at the announcements included with the order of service. Those of you watching online can find most of the announcements through the e-news in your email or on the UUCW website or on the link available in the live stream page. I'm going to just highlight a couple of things. In preparation for the Anti-Racism Transformation Team's worship service on March 16th, there's a display in the community room that invites people to contribute written words or drawings about diversity, equity, inclusion, mission, anti-racism, and identity. So please take some time after the service to put your thoughts up on those sheets. If you want to email responses, send them to antiracism@uucw.org. And also remember to register for the Building a Culture of Inclusion workshop. See the order of service or the UUCW website for more details. The other thing I'm going to highlight is nominate an outstanding member for the Trustees Award Annual Board Awards. The awards will be given to members who exhibited commitment, enhanced the life of the congregation, or represented our congregation in ways that had definable results or outcomes. The Long-Term Service Award goes to one person who exhibited commitment to a service or contributed to multiple projects. Oh, it's early in the morning for me to be talking so much. Visit Kathy White in the community room after today's service and learn how to nominate someone, or use the link listed in the order of service to nominate one of our amazing church members. Now let's settle into our time together, and I'm going to turn things over to Rev. Jill.
Good morning. I am the Reverend Jill Braithwaite, and I use she, her pronouns, and it is a delight to be here with you this morning. Before I move into our call to worship, I want to share an amendment to one of those announcements. That March 4th webinar is hosted by Side with Love. I invited us all in the e-news to attend, and I will be there on Tuesday evening, but that is hosted by the UUA and Side with Love, just FYI. So let's take a breath and bring ourselves here together today. Feel the ground supporting us. Breathe the air supporting us. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. We grasp at signs and markers, news and analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if they are the new zodiac and capable of forecasting all that may come our way, as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we'd thought. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know. Here in our song and our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. We enter now a time for sharing of joys and sorrows that touch our individual lives. One way that we express through ritual the many ways that we care for one another in this community. In a moment, you'll be invited to come to the mic to share aloud, if you like. If you have something you'd rather not share aloud, you can use the QR code on the order of service or the share side of the blue slip you received on your way in. And at any time during the week, please know that you can use the link in the e-news to let us know what's on your heart. What you share is only for the ears of those gathered now. It will not be in the posted video of the service or shared in our e-news. So now, please come to the mic if you choose to speak, or raise your hand and an usher will bring you a mic. I will light a candle for you, and after each sharing, I invite you all to respond with me, "We hold you in love." And as folks gather, I want to first light a candle of concern for federal workers. So many have lost jobs. So many are being forced to bear the burden of political decisions beyond their control. We send our love to these skilled experts who have faithfully served the public good as they face uncertainty, financial hardship, and stress. We hold you in love. And to folks attending online, we hold you in love too. And now we place one last candle for those joys and concerns not shared but held deep in our hearts. We hold you in love. As Unitarian Universalists, we are seekers. People who live with the questions as much as the answers. While many faith traditions go all in on certainty, we find ourselves drawn to the wisdom of uncertainty, with an openness to mystery and the courage to trust that the search for truth and meaning is an ongoing endeavor that unfolds over time. But let's be honest, life is filled with uncertainty, and it is often unsettling and terrifying. It is tempting in life to believe that certainty is possible, that if we just gather enough knowledge, plan carefully enough, and follow the right path, we will be safe and secure. But life has a way of unraveling even our best laid plans. We prefer not to think about it, of course, but we know on some level that illness, accidents, enormous shifts in our government, and many, many, many other things can upend our lives at any time. Many of us here in this room are coping directly with these kinds of uncertainties right now. And most of us, I imagine, have had painful experiences of the uncertain and unexpected. A relationship ends, a dream falls apart, a loved one dies, a job ends abruptly. In those moments, certainty simply fails us. And yet somehow, most times, we found or are finding a way forward. Certainty can be comforting, but it can also be limiting. It can close us off to new possibilities, new perspectives, and the beauty of mystery. When we insist on knowing for sure, we miss the deeper wisdom that comes from not knowing. The philosopher Martha Nussbaum offers us a wonderful way of thinking about uncertainty and its place in our lives. In a 1988 interview with Bill Moyers, apparently today is Interview with Bill Moyers Sunday, like I spent the week on billmoyers.com. But in a 1988 interview with Bill Moyers, Martha Nussbaum reflected on one of the essential questions of life itself. What does it mean to be a good human being? And Nussbaum offered this response, quote, "To be a good human being is to have a kind of openness to the world, an ability to trust uncertain things beyond our control, things that can lead you to being shattered in very extreme circumstances for which you were not to blame. And that says something very important about the condition of the ethical life," she continues, "that it is based on trust in the uncertain and on a willingness to be exposed. It's based on being more like a plant than a jewel, something rather fragile, but whose very particular beauty is inseparable from that fragility. More like a plant than a jewel. A jewel is strong, unmoving, gorgeous in its way. There's no uncertainty about what it will be tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Jewels do not grow. They cannot be said to flourish. They just sit there. Plants, on the other hand, are made of soft parts that are vulnerable to the elements and to the absence or loss of what they need. And yet it is these soft parts that allow the plant to grow and change and blossom and bear fruit and shelter animals and feed the earth and become exactly what it was designed to be. The paradox of the human condition, Nussbaum reminds us, is that while our capacity for living with the vulnerability of uncertainty, and by extension, our ability to trust others, while this may be what allows for tragedy to befall us, the greatest tragedy of all, she asserts, is the attempt to guard against the hurt by petrifying the essential softness of the soul, because that denies our basic humanity. Yes, we can try to wall ourselves off from uncertainty, but this becomes, in essence, walling ourselves off from life. It means ceasing to have meaningful participation in society and thus ceasing to be a citizen in the human family. When we gather in faith community, I think it's safe to say that transformation is at the core of what we're up to. We come seeking spiritual sustenance and growth. We do not bring ourselves here as unchanging jewels to be polished and admired. No, we arrive here like living plants with our soft, vulnerable parts, open to change, willing to become something new. And in our justice-seeking work, we go all in on the uncertainty of hope. We build coalitions with people who may bring us uncertainty, and we work for a more just world, even when the uncertainty of that work is so present. And at the end of the day, if we are interested in transformation, in changing ourselves and our world for the better, trusting uncertainty is a necessary part of the path. There's no getting around it. Our Unitarian Universalist faith is a deeply grounding force as we grapple with uncertainty. As I said earlier, in many religious traditions, faith is equated with belief, having the right answers, following the correct doctrines. But Unitarian Universalism offers something different. Faith for us is not about holding on to fixed truths like jewels and polishing them and admiring them as the years pass. For us, it is about trusting the process of discovery. Faith for us does not mean clinging to an idea that this community or this leader is perfect. That goes against the core of our faith tradition, the idea that each of us can use our capacity for reason to seek truth for ourselves, and that anything created by humans must be responsive to the needs of the world, and that it can be improved over time. No, faith for UUs means that I choose to be in community and to give my trust to it without insisting that it be frozen for all time, and without insisting that it be molded to my personal needs. Our faith indeed has more in common with a plant than a jewel. The gardeners in this congregation would perhaps agree that a diverse and thriving garden is a marvelous result of the uncertainty and vulnerability of living plants. Uncertainty invites us into deeper trust, not in external guarantees, but in the inner wisdom that we carry. Rebecca Parker, one of our Unitarian Universalist theologians, beautifully writes the following: "Faith is not a belief in the safety of things, but the trust that even in the unknown, we are held. It is the courage to step into the mystery of life and to live with compassion, knowing that we are not alone." For Parker, faith is about trusting in ourselves, in each other, and in the deep mystery of the universe. It is the courage to keep moving forward even when we don't know what will happen next. In embracing uncertainty, we step into the flow, the very flow of life with all its unpredictability, knowing that we are held in community, in love, and in the larger mystery of this world. The questions we carry are shared by others all around us. These are universal things, and we know that when we trust uncertainty, we are not isolated in it. Together, we move forward on our path, not seeking to eliminate the unknown, but to coexist with it. Ultimately, uncertainty is an inherent aspect of life, and it can be a brutal one. Spiritual teacher Jeff Foster writes about the pain of unexpected events and about faith in what comes next. He writes, "There were times when I thought I'd never make it, times when my dreams had been shattered so thoroughly I couldn't imagine how life could go on. Yet it went on, and so I have come to trust life completely. Trust even the times I forget how to trust at all. Trust that life doesn't always go according to plan, because there is no plan. Somehow, I am always held in a way I cannot explain and do not want to. I may be crushed yet again before too long. I may experience further insurmountable challenges and heartbreaks, but somehow I am always held." Trusting uncertainty means trusting life itself. It means choosing to trust and even love, venturing into the uncertainty of loving this life, this uncertain life we share. In Unitarian Universalism, we accept the invitation to community, and we cast that welcoming circle as wide as possible. And as part of trusting life, we can tap into the great transforming force of love, the force we put at the center of our faith, the force of love that flows through our hearts, our communities, and the world. We can choose that love as our guide and know that it is a love that holds us and will not let us go. I want to share words from poet Rosemary Watola Tromer in her poem, Growing Trust. She writes this: "Now, since I've tasted trust in life, why would I ever slip again into armor? The armor of an insincere smile, sometimes as dangerous as the armor of a sword. Why would I ever try to know what to say, how to act, how to plan, when, with zero effort of my own, life itself will move through me, will rise up in me to meet itself? Of course, like the child I am, I forget this trust. I slip back into habit, believe I need protection, and fear I am isolated. But I have fallen in love with life. At a time when that might seem impossible, and this strange fact alone seems enough to remind me to ditch the armor, to cast wide my arms, to unsheath my heart and say, yes, life, I trust you, I serve you. Why would I not trust life? It would be like a seed evading the rain, like a sunflower just unfurling, trying to avoid the sun. May we hold the uncertainty of life together, friends, not as polished jewels, but as plants in the process of becoming what we were meant to be, interconnected with all around us and with one another. And like tender shoots rising toward the spring sun, may we open ourselves to the light, the air, and the nourishing soil of community. And there may we find strength, hope, and love. Blessed be, and amen.
There we go. All right. Good morning again. There we go. All right. So I'm here to talk a little bit about UUCW's Split the Plate program, a program of outreach and generosity. Each month, we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values and serve our community. Our partner for March is Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, whose mission is to harness the power of community to combat oppression and foster healing as a spiritual and political imperative. They believe the power of love to be life-changing, inclusive, relational, uncomfortable, unconditional, and without end. BLUU is committed to expanding the power and capacity of Black UUs within Unitarian Universalism, providing support, information, and resources for Black Unitarian Universalists, and justice-making and liberation for Black people through our faith. BLUU was suggested by the UUCW Anti-Racism Transformation Committee. For more information, see the Split the Plate article in our weekly e-news. If you are participating virtually, please go to the UUCW website Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or you can text or mail your donation today using the information found here. Today, I thank you for your generosity to BLUU and to UUCW. We will now graciously accept your offering.
And now let us speak together our words for dedicating our offering, which are printed in your order of service. To the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. And now, friends, it's time for the stewardship team to do some drawings. Good luck to one and all.
Hello, everybody. We're Jeannie Baker and Jackie Ziegler, and we're two members of your stewardship team. It's our pleasure today to do the prize drawing. How is this working? 50% of us, Leslie tells me, have already pledged. So to that 50%, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. To the other 50%, get at it. Get at it. It's important that the pledges are prompt because the budget has to come out, what is it, Leslie, first day of May? Or it's April 30th, so yeah. And if they don't have the pledge, they can't do the budget. They can't budget. I also want to say that the average increase is 8%. The average increase is 8%, so thank you for your generosity. To urge prompt pledging, Jackie and I have a drawing today. I want to thank, before we even start, so the winners will receive a prize and also a handmade greeting card from Sharon Vandeloo. So Sharon, thank you. Let's start. I know they're tiny, so prize number one, and you should read it, and I'll hand out the prize. Prize number one goes to
Jeff Pride.
Jeff, are you here? Jeff. So Jeff, you have won a $30 gift certificate to everybody's favorite grocery store, Outpost. Okay. And we need to remember, like, for that. Yeah, like, so we can tell Kelly, so that, yes. Number two.
Susan Foley.
Is she here? Oh, yay! 2 for 2. Okay. Susan, you have won a homemade cake of your choosing. Any flavor, donated by our own Lynn Capitan. Lynn, thank you. My favorite flavor is chocolate, if you want to know. Okay, number 3.
Kristen Fuel.
Kristen! Yeah. Kristen, you have won. Are you going to take the Kristen? She's sitting right there. Kristen, you have won prize number 3, which is a $30 gift certificate to Cosmos Greek restaurant, which is on North Avenue. It's an Euro place. It's the perfect combination of Greece and Euro meat. Oh, Kristen Fuel. Oh, not Kristen Booth. Kristen Fuel. Kristen. Number 4.
Lorraine and Kevin Genich.
Lorraine and Kevin, you've won prize number 4, which is a $30 gift certificate at Rocket Baby Bakery.
Wow, that's a good place. All right, let's see.
Okay, gift number 5.
Julie and Mike Brown.
Okay, I don't see them here. So prize number 5 is a generous basket of wine, cheese, and gluten-free crackers donated by our own Jackie Ziegler. Jackie, thank you. So I'll hang on to it. Thank you all again for your donations and your generous pledges. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all who have pledged and entered their names in a drawing. Better luck next year for the rest of us. And now let's rise in body and or spirit, and we'll sing our closing hymn, number 323, Break Not the Circle. As we close our time together this morning, I offer these words. These waters of life, they never stay calm, not for long, because they are teeming with the stuff of life. The energy of our being washes over us and around us. Let us brace each other when we need to rise against those currents, and let us hold hands when what we really need is to relax into the waves and ride them together. May it be so.